Hi, and welcome back to day 3 of the Living with Purpose Challenge. And what we're trying to do is learn how to live in purpose as God created us. My name is Shawanda, and I am a performance strategist. I help you to learn how to live in purpose and on purpose. I've been doing this for a few years. I help individuals, especially women, learn to find their purpose and to live a more meaningful life. This way, we're not working so hard to achieve goals that seem unachievable. And sometimes we are working towards things and we're kind of having these high highs and low lows, and then we're unable to kind of keep moving forward in the way that we desire. And we're trying to figure out why that's happening. Well, part of it is we need to find more meaning to our life. And as we find more meaning to our life, then we can strive to reach goals that attribute to that meaning. So today we're going to talk about what is your purpose. Now, of course, the first step to this journey is to decide that living with purpose is a worthwhile endeavor. That's right. You have to make a choice to decide that living with purpose is a worthwhile endeavor. And remember, not making a choice is making a choice. I hope that the first 2 videos that we've already gone through day 1 and day 2 series have already convinced you a little that living with purpose is a worthwhile endeavor. We start understanding that living with purpose brings more meaning to our life, and it helps us to live a more fulfilled and happy life. We start doing things more intentionally as we begin to understand that we were also intentionally created. Now, the next step is to figure out exactly what your purpose is. Well, I understand that that's a really big thing. And sometimes we're like, oh, how do I figure out my purpose? Well, figuring out your purpose is a really difficult task sometimes, but it's not at all impossible. Now, I can't sit here and tell you that I know your purpose for your life because, hey, God created us all as individuals, right? And we're all uniquely designed. So what he has for you is for you, and the purpose that he has for you is for you. So that is something that you have to seek him in order to understand what your purpose is. But what I can do is I can give you some tips and I can give you some useful hints so that you can start finding those ways to seek him and connect to some of the things that he's already shown you. This way you can discover for yourself what your life purpose is. Now, the question then becomes, well, how will I know when I found my life purpose? Well, listen, when you know, you know. And when you think you found it, you know you found it. The biggest piece right now is to really just go through the steps. And here's the first step. It's very simple. Think about what you're passionate about. Yeah, I get it. We're sometimes passionate about a lot of different things, and that is perfectly okay. It doesn't matter if that passion is part of your work or your current career, or even if it's not part of your work or part of your current career. That's the thing. We need to separate between what we're actually doing and what we're actually passionate about. And sometimes it's not the same. Sometimes we found ourselves in a career or in a job or doing hobbies or whatever that is, and it's not really something that we're passionate about. Maybe we started doing it because we tried to find ourselves fitting in or being liked or being accepted by others. And so we took those hobbies and we took those career interests in order to fit in or to align ourselves with other people. Well, that's not really bringing you happiness. It's not really bringing you joy. So that you now have to dig deep inside yourself to say, what makes me happy? What am I actually passionate about as an individual? And then when you start thinking about that, you want to start making that list. Now, this is what I'm going to challenge you to do. When you think about what you're passionate about, think about why. And the reason I want you to think about why is because we really need to start doing the deep work of understanding that sometimes the passions that we have is related to other people, places, and things. But it wasn't something that was burning deep within inside of us. Now, as women, this is something that we do have a lot of trouble with. We have taken on the identity of so many other people and so many other things that sometimes we lose ourselves. whether it's our family, our children, our spouses, significant others. We try to do things to try to please other people. And so we need to start separating ourselves from pleasing other people and start getting in touch with who we are as God created us. And sometimes going back to that passion goes all the way back to some of the things that you love to do, even as a child. And it's okay. Go back and start thinking about that. What did you love to do? What have you always loved to do? Even when you were a little kid, in the most simplest form, in the most innocent form, there were things that you were passionate about. Maybe you love teaching. Maybe you love dancing. Maybe you love showing people how to discover things. Maybe you just like discovering things on your own. Whatever that was, go back and get in touch with that and start making a list. And don't worry about if it's more than one thing. It's perfectly okay to be passionate about more than one thing. The key is that you are doing the work of thinking about what it is that you're passionate about, and that you're passionate about it for you. Not because of what someone else said and not because of what someone else did, but because you know it is a deep burning desire within your heart. Again, write down those things and continue to make that list as often as those come to your mind. Now, the next thing is, what do you value? What do you value? You want to start thinking about what you really value in life. What's important to you? Again, I'm going to challenge you to start thinking about why. Every time you think that something is of value to you, I want you to start thinking about why. Why am I telling you to do this? Because for the same reason that we are sometimes passionate about something, it's really related to other people, places, or things. Now, when you look at what you value, what do you feel would make a difference? That's the value. What makes a difference? Maybe you value the right of every child growing up in a happy home. Maybe you value that life's purpose is to make sure that people don't go hungry. Whatever that is, you need to get in touch with that for you. Now, this is a no judgment thing. No one else gets to judge this or see this or whatever. This is your individual journey to start getting in touch with those things, because those desires, God placed them in you even as a child. And they have kind of manifested in so many ways. And sometimes we allow that to grow dormant because we have taken on the passions and the interests of other people, and we're doing so much for so many others. Again, you want to go back and get in touch with what God placed in you and what it was that he kind of sparked that fire within you. The next thing is, what elicits a strong emotional response? Now, when we're talking about a strong emotional response, we're usually talking about things like what makes you really happy, what makes you really sad, or what even makes you very angry. If you carry this burden every time you see someone, maybe you drive down the street and you see someone who is homeless and it makes you sad, it makes you feel heartbroken. You see a child who is who doesn't have the proper things that they need in order to live, that burdens your heart. So those are things that draw those strong emotional responses. And those are things that you want to make a list of. What moves you in such a strong emotional way that it feels like what we call a little bit of a burden, and you really want to do something about it? A lot of times as women, we have this thing about, we just want to help people. We just want to help people. Well, you know what? It's great that you want to help people, but what does that look like? What does helping people look like? Helping people to do what? Helping people to achieve what? And helping people how? So don't overgeneralize it by just saying, I just like to help people. Good for you. But let's dig a little bit deeper and do some more work so that we can start understanding what that true passion is and what really, really is moving us about helping people. That is what is going to make the difference. Now, the last thing is, what's fun? I get it. Who has time for fun? You do. You absolutely have time for fun. You have to make time for fun. So like we started at the beginning about, you want to make a choice. You have to make a choice to decide that living with purpose is worthwhile. Well, you have to decide that having fun is necessary. It's a choice. And remember, not making a choice is still a choice. So when we're talking about what's fun, we want to talk about what we enjoy doing. What do you enjoy doing? And there's nothing wrong with finding a purpose that is actually enjoyable. Listen, going through and living your life doesn't have to be this dreary thing that you're going through. You need to have joy. God did not put us on this earth for us to be miserable. It is in His Word. He didn't promise us that. So listen, find enjoyment in something. What is that? Tap into that. And if right now you're struggling with, I don't know what's fun and I don't know what brings me joy, dig deeper. Dig deeper. And it's probably because you haven't been having any fun, and now it's time to have some fun. It's time to switch things up a little bit so that you can get that joy back in your life. Because the things that you're doing, even if it's something that you're passionate about helping other people, it should not wear you down and wear you out. It should not feel like work. If everything that you're doing is feeling like work, then that's not what you should be doing. We are not put on this earth to just work without joy. So find some enjoyment in something so that you can feel more fulfilled. And again, you're not doing it because it just makes you feel better to help somebody. You see that you're making a difference in the life of someone else, and how and why. So what makes it fun for you? Of course, not every task and every aspect of what you're going to do is going to be fun. I get that. But overall, you want to find purpose and a project that you are excited to jump out of bed about every morning and do it. And you can't wait to do more of it. You just have so much in you, and you realize that you have so much in you for you to be able to go out and spread this kind of joy to other people. So today we talked about what is your purpose? What is your purpose? And like I said at the beginning, not that I can tell you what your purpose is, but I can give you four easy things for you to think about so that you can connect to your individual purpose, because you were made as an individual and made very unique by God. But what you have to do is start going through those four things and making lists in those four categories. 1, what are you passionate about? 2, what do you value? 3, what elicits a strong emotional response? And 4, what's fun? Remember, living with purpose should definitely be enjoyable, because it's going to help us find that meaning in our life so that our life can be more fulfilled and more joyous. Thank you for joining me today as we continue on this Living with Purpose challenge. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button so that you can also get the notifications every day for your new message. I'll see you soon.